What's up, Celtics Nation? Brace yourselves, because today's video is a heavy one. Just when we thought the storm had passed, two new lightning bolts are threatening our future. First, a massive scare involving the guy who is the soul of this team right now. A blow that could drastically change the course of our season before it even begins. And if that wasn't enough, a quiet move behind the scenes has everyone scratching their heads. Are we on the brink of collapse? You are not going to believe what we have for you today. So sit tight, hit that like button, and let's get straight into the news. Let's get right to it, because this is serious. There's a nightmare every Celtics fan has been having since Tatum's injury, a fear that's been haunting every second of this offseason. What happens if our last standing tower, the pillar holding this whole thing up, also comes crashing down? We put all our chips, all our hopes, and a contract worth hundreds of millions of dollars on one single player. He has become, by necessity, the heart and soul of this team. The plan for 2026 was simple. Give him the ball and pray. And then, in a meaningless preseason game against the Raptors, a game that was just supposed to be a tune-up, the universe decided to test us in the cruelest way possible. Just 7 minutes in, on a routine transition play, we all saw the scene that froze us in our tracks. The hand grabbing the back of the left thigh, the grimace of pain, and the direct walk to the locker room. Yes, we are talking about Jaylen Brown. The official statement, cold as ever, read, left hamstring tightness, doubtful to return. Now, anyone who knows a lick of basketball knows that hamstring tightness in the preseason is a euphemism for a major red flag. It's the most treacherous injury an explosive athlete like Brown can have. It doesn't heal easily, it comes back to haunt you, and it limits the very thing that makes him great: his power and acceleration. Seeing Brown get hurt now isn't just about losing a player. It's about seeing our entire survival plan go up in flames. Without Tatum, he was our only hope for a remotely competitive season. He was the guy who was going to put the team on his back, take all the big shots, and keep the TD Garden alive. The fans' reaction was instant. Panic. Social media turned into a mix of despair and anger. Why was he on the court? Did he really need to play? The truth is, it's nobody's fault, but the consequences fall on all of us. If this injury is serious, if he misses weeks or, God forbid, months, it's lights out. We'd be looking at a team without its leader, a ship without a rudder in the middle of the Eastern Conference storm. Our season, which was already a giant question mark, is now openly flirting with total disaster. And while we're all still trying to process this gut punch, another move behind the scenes, made quietly by our front office, raises even more questions about the direction we're headed. Because what comes next is even more unbelievable. And the unbelievable part isn't the name, but what the action represents. While our entire fan base is in a panic, praying for good news on Jaylen Brown's hamstring, the front office is acting with the coldness of a surgeon. The news is the waiving of R.J. Luis, a two-way contract player. To many, that name might not mean much. A young talent, a former Big East Player of the Year, who barely warmed the bench. He came to Boston from the Utah Jazz in one of those minor trades that barely make headlines. And that is precisely why this move is such a slap in the face. It's the final nail in the coffin, the signature on a document the front office has been writing since May. The 2025-26 season has officially been abandoned. Let's connect the dots. First, Jason Tatum's devastating injury. In that moment, the dream of a repeat died. Then came the business decisions. Trading Kristaps Porzingis to the Atlanta Hawks wasn't to strengthen the team. It was to duck the second apron tax, a purely financial move. Then came the farewell to Drew Holiday, our on-court brain, the general of our defense. Every single move was another brick being pulled from our championship castle. Waiving a secondary player like R.J. Luis, at this exact moment of crisis with Brown, is the final message. It's the front office telling us, without saying a word, we are not spending one more cent on this team. The focus is not on now. They are clearing salary, stacking future assets, and treating this season as a forced gap year. It's an understandable strategy from a financial standpoint, but it's incredibly cruel to the fans and the players who remain. Think about Derek White and Jaylen Brown himself. They're going to be thrown into the fire, tasked with carrying a depleted roster, knowing that management has already given up on the year. They might have the best stats of their careers, But for what? To fight for a spot in the play-in tournament? And what about Anthony Simons, who came here dreaming of finally playing for a competitive team? The reality he's found is a team in full rebuild mode. So on one hand, we have a team that has to take the court in a week, with its best player possibly injured, and on the other, a front office that's already planning for 2027. This disconnect is terrifying and leaves us at the center of a massive dilemma. The question echoing in every fan's head is a painful one, and that's what we need to talk about right now. And here we are, in the eye of the storm. On one side, the body of our last hero, Jaylen Brown, sending us a terrifying warning sign. On the other, the cold pen of the front office, which has already signed our season's death certificate for financial reasons. So the big question is, what hurts more, Celtics Nation? Seeing our team get destroyed by an injury or by a strategic decision to give up? Was this front office decision a necessary dose of realism or a massive betrayal? Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm reading everything. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.